today's video. We're diving deep into a critical yet often overlooked topic: how to identify manipulation in relationships. Manipulative relationships can be subtle and insidious, leaving you feeling confused, drained, and questioning your reality. But recognizing the signs is the first step towards reclaiming your autonomy. Before we begin, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you're losing yourself in a relationship? Constantly questioning whether your partner truly has your best interests at heart? Or perhaps, have you wondered if the affection and care you're receiving might be masking something much deeper? Something controlling? If these questions strike a chord, stay with us as we uncover the subtle yet powerful signs and red flags of manipulation in relationships, helping you recognize and break free from these toxic patterns. Relationships, when true, should elevate the soul and cultivate mutual respect, harmony, and growth. Yet there are times when relationships, under the guise of affection, descend into manipulation. A subtle and pernicious form of control where one partner seeks dominance over the other. This control may be emotional, mental, or even financial. Much like Frank Underwood's chilling assertion, the best way to manipulate someone is to make them think they're in control. But as Albert Ellis wisely observed, people don't make us angry. How we think about people can make us angry. This insight leads us to reflect deeply on our perceptions. And by recognizing manipulation, we regain the autonomy we may have lost. Now here are the red flags. 1. Emotional manipulation. At its core, emotional manipulation distorts one's sense of responsibility. Manipulators thrive on making you feel accountable for their emotional state, transferring blame onto you for circumstances beyond your control. The refrain, "You're the reason I'm upset," becomes their weapon, conditioning you to internalize guilt. As Jill Blakeway reminds us, I quote, "Beware of the person who stabs you and then tells the world they're the one who's bleeding." End of quote. The manipulator, ever playing the victim, evades accountability while demanding your solace. Yet, Ellis's wisdom echoes again. People don't make us angry. How we think about people can make us angry. Thus, the solution lies in reshaping our thoughts and recognizing the manipulation for what it is. 2. Constant criticism and belittling. As Winston Churchill noted, criticism may not be agreeable, but it is necessary. Yet, in manipulative relationships, criticism does not serve the purpose of improvement. Rather, it seeks to undermine, erode self-confidence, and make you question your worth. Achievements are belittled, success is diminished, and your sense of self becomes fragile, leaving you relying on the manipulator for validation. These subtle, persistent attacks accumulate, creating a gradual decline in self-esteem. 3. Isolation. To control you, the manipulator will isolate you from the world, cutting off your connections to loved ones. Mother Teresa once observed, I quote, "The loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is the most terrible poverty." End of quote. In the manipulative relationship, isolation serves as a tool of control. Under the guise of concern, the manipulator severs your ties with others, ensuring you become dependent on them alone, sowing distrust in your closest relationships. They frame themselves as your sole protector, all the while tightening their grip on your emotional independence. 4. Gaslighting. Gaslighting, which is the most insidious form of manipulation, undermines your grasp on reality. A manipulator will deny events that clearly happened, making you doubt your memory, and ultimately, your sanity. They dismiss your emotions as overreactions, causing you to question whether your feelings are valid. But remember Augustine of Hippo's timeless truth. I quote, "The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose. It will defend itself." End of quote. In such situations, one must hold fast to the truth, for it is unshakable, and no manipulation can distort it. 5. Excessive control. What begins as concern often reveals itself as a hunger for dominance. From dictating what you wear, deciding whom you may speak with, the manipulator cloaks control in the guise of care. As Lao Tzu wisely put it, I quote, "He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still." End of quote. Control in these relationships strips you of agency and leaves you powerless. True freedom, however, lies in mastering oneself, not in succumbing to another's control. 6. Blame shifting. Manipulators are adept at deflecting responsibility, no matter their wrongdoings. They twist events to make you feel as though you are the cause of their behavior. The refrain, "I only acted this way because you pushed me," becomes their justification for inexcusable actions. In such cases, a manipulative partner rarely admits fault, making you feel as though the problems of the relationship rest solely on your shoulders. 7. Love bombing and withdrawal. At the onset, a manipulator may overwhelm you with affection, only to suddenly withdraw it. This creates an emotional roller coaster that leaves you constantly seeking their approval. As Francis Bacon once said, I quote, "People who are crazy in love are not always wise in other respects." End of quote. This hot and cold behavior keeps you in a state of uncertainty, ever eager to recapture the affection they once freely gave. 8. Using fear or threats. Fear is one of the manipulator's most effective tools. Through veiled threats of emotional abandonment or loss, they ensure compliance. Statements like, "No one else will love you like I do," serve to instill fear, making you hesitant to stand up for yourself. The fear of losing them keeps you trapped in their grasp, too afraid to reclaim your independence. 9. Disrespecting boundaries. As Irma Kurtz wisely noted, I quote, "Givers have to set limits, because takers rarely do." End of quote. Manipulators consistently push past your boundaries, making you feel guilty for resisting, whether it is emotional, physical, or mental boundaries. They intrude, leaving you with a diminished sense of control over your own life. Final thoughts. In his reflection on love, Robert Heinlein observed, I quote, "Love is a condition in which the happiness of another person is essential to your own." End of quote. True love seeks the well-being of both individuals. It liberates rather than confines. A manipulative relationship erodes your sense of self and your grip on reality, making you question your worth and your truth. Yet manipulation is subtle, often disguised as love or care. If If you find yourself in such a relationship, remember, true love uplifts. It does not diminish. Trust your instincts. Seek support from trusted friends, family, or professionals. And never forget that the path to freedom lies in reclaiming your autonomy. True love does not control. It empowers. And before you go, if you found this reflection helpful, do us one small favor. Subscribe to the channel. It's a simple way to stay connected and support our journey toward deeper understanding. Thank you.